Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, and in this case we are going to see the repair of a MAVE refrigerator or practically any model of this size, and the fault they present is that the oil rises and they are covered, so we are going to see right now how it turns out. Solve. It is not going to be a complete video, it is going to be practically the techniques as doing little by little. There are 3 ways to solve this problem. We are going to see them throughout the video. It does not last even 3 or 4 minutes, no matter how much notice the failure that. It has to freeze from what is from the capillary tube backwards. That is because the pressure is starting to rise before, or because when it comes out, the one that comes out of the capillary tube freezes and is covered, then it starts. To cool and freeze the tube, the capillary tube begins to frost. Then for that there are 3 solutions. One is to heat the capillary tube with the lighter. That is the most like and the one that almost always works with that uncover and works well again. The second one, that is the one we are going to do as well, we are going to start disconnecting the device. Already you know that this is going to be fast. Then in the back remember to disconnect first, all this to prevent you from burning any ears of some part of the electronic, practically is the relay, the thermal or low or the plate, whatever, since we remove everything that is the electrical parts to prevent them from being damaged, because we have to change the everything it carries. You have to put an appendix, change this filter, in this case the appendix already. Whether you cut it or the moshes, it is advisable to do this with a recovery and a check puncture valve, to recover that gas so as not to contaminate. So right now they are quick videos. That's why I say, because it took me a long time or so. You love the mocha like that, because it is also. It almost didn't have much gas, it was already expiring, so remember to put its appendix on it. The second way to solve that problem is to weld the low pipe, that is, the one on the other side, the return, and from there put the compressor to work when putting the compressor. Yes, we run the problem of atmosphere getting in because there is humidity in the air, but in this case when desoldering the tubes and everything we run accept that risk. Here I am going to desolder the low one, so when desoldering it, as I say, we run that risk of atmosphere getting in. But that's why I'm leaving the old filter to stop the humidity. Then I'm going to change it with that I avoid problems. We're also going to add a flux that the flux does, because what it does is lower the freezing point of the water by lowering the freezing point. Freezing of the water when it comes out of the capillary tube, because it is not going to freeze and it is not going to be clogged. Then since we desolder this tube, what we are going to do is look at this. Put the finger, the low finger, the low, put the finger with the appendix uncovered, put the finger, and until it holds our finger and we let it go, it holds our finger, and we give it a very important tip that is what will help you the most. This is how it will be solved the first time, that is, without desoldering, without anything, and there are times that it comes uncovered. In this case it could not be done. Maybe they have a lot of oil here. What I proceed to do is to heat everything. Remember that the heating must be super fast, because if they take too long they can either burn the plastic or damage the aluminum or the hairs of the evaporator. Damage, then it is fast anyway. The aluminum heats up very easily. When you do that you make the oil heat up, and the oil, because logically it will go down faster. We are going to see it now. Look now, if when you remove the finger it must throw us a lot more oil. If you see that they had to throw a lot of oil in this way, then you are going to have to compensate the compressor with oil from the one it takes. Look here, it threw a lot, then it goes. If you see that it comes out a lot, if it comes out like this, it is very little. If it comes out a lot, you have to compensate it with 10-20%. Remember to put your valve, your appendix, change the filter, and in this part, well, here I tell you, as I tell you, I pour flux. The flux, what it does is lower the freezing point of the water, then that makes it so even if it has a little moisture, because it will not be damaged. And this is a good flux, because before it was not used because it damaged the seals of the compressor pistons, and everything now is very safe to use. So practically with this you just have to put it its valve seal or make vacuum and load. And with this, look here, I already loaded this one, I already did practically everything, and here we are actually seeing how a refrigerator is working well. If you can fix here to the bottom, then you can already notice that frozen the tube. It looks cold, and look here at the importance of where it should freeze. it should freeze, leaving the capillary tube to the rest, to the other pipe. Then this is over. If you liked it, like, comment, share, subscribe and see you until next time. Ciao.